September 2015, which took place on May 31st, 2015. The Authority kicks off the show with Seth Rollins complaining about not having his title that was stolen by Dean Ambrose. Unfortunately for us, people who don't like Roman Reigns, he comes out to talk and say that Dean wants his WWE title rematch at Money in the Bank, and he wants it in the ladder match. Seth agrees and says he doesn't need the Authority helping him. Again, I think they're trying to make a split between them. I'm not sure. I don't like Roman Reigns coming out and being the advocate for Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose can talk for himself. Triple H gets in Roman's face and tells him, since you are so important or you want to get in our business, you have a match against King Barrett next, and you have to beat him in order to keep your spot in Money in the Bank ladder match for the briefcase. What do you think of the segment?
I think it's just silly having Roman Reigns come out to be an advocate, because I'd rather see the, Dean Ambrose be out there and be an advocate, talk for himself. I just don't like the fact that they're just still having Reigns out there trying to push him on us because he hasn't quote unquote developed. He hasn't become the superstar that they wanted him to be, and they should have us. They should have him. Be with Ambrose right now. They should have him have his own separate segments, but not have him pretty much override Ambrose. Because Ambrose, pretty much won yesterday, and you having Roman Reigns talk to him is, speaking to Seth on his behalf is just ridiculous. I don't like it. So let's just, I guess we'll just go ahead and move on to the next segment.
Triple H and Stephanie have a segment backstage after Roman wins his match with Wade Barrett. Match is pretty uneventful. It wasn't that special. Poor Barrett was told to make Roman look good, obviously. He makes Roman look good. Roman wins with this stupid spear. Looks like a hug. Again, nobody watching this who had suspense thought for 1 second that Roman was going to lose to Wade Barrett. Poor Wade Barrett. I don't know why they made him King of the Ring if you're going to have him lose like a chump every week or every other week. Triple H and Stephanie tell Roman, you're not done for the night. You're going to face Mark Henry. You have to beat Mark Henry in order for you to keep your spot. And moving on, the Roman show continues. The Roman Reigns show. They should just call it Roman Reigns. They shouldn't even call it Raw at this point. Paige and Nikki have a segment where they set up a match for the People's title later on during the show. The segment was uneventful. And the next segment after that is Ryback coming out, being introduced as new IC champion, and per the Authority's declaration, he has to face The Miz coming up next after the commercial break. Big Show comes out, knocks off The Miz, and challenges, to some degree, I'm sure it's going to happen, at Money in the Bank. The new IC champion telling him that I'm a bigger guy than you, something to that effect. What do you think of the Ryback segment?
I think it's just going to lead to it was an uneventful thing against Miz, just to lead up to Big Show and Ryback. And I think at the pay-per-view, they're just going to have Big Show pretty much lay down for Ryback just to have, just to make Ryback more give him more exposure, because he was kind of in the mid-carder now. But after this, they're going to make a big hoopla about it. He's going to throw some moves up against the Big Show haven't seen before, and it's going to be like this one massive victory. It's probably just going to be a beat and potato match again. So I guess we can move on to the next segment.
Kevin Owens comes out, and he talks about his victory against John Cena. He talks about how his son is a John Cena fan, and how his son had asked, after the match was over, after Kevin Owens' wife congratulated him on his big victory, Kevin Owens' son, whose name is Owen, named after Owen Hart, asked him, how is John Cena doing? He said, my son is a John Cena fan, and I want my son to see me as a hero. But I'm not, because John Cena is overexposed. He's presented as a hero, and he is not. John Cena comes out and tells him to shut up. Instead of shaking his hand and telling him, you put in a great match, you defeat him, he comes out and says, shut up, you're a jackass. He proceeds to insult him, and then he proceeds to start saying he is here for all the fans. He's here for every single fan in the WWE, every single person in the WWE universe, and he starts pointing out the kids in the crowd, and he starts pointing out to hero does it to be selfless. John Cena isn't there to be John Cena. John Cena is there to collect a paycheck. And John Cena's character is presented as this really good person, but John Cena shouldn't come out and insult someone because they beat him the following night. John Cena shouldn't come out and say, I'm the top guy and you have to beat me in order for you to be the top guy. And John Cena should come out and say, I appreciate and value everyone who is here for me and every other superstar who you come to see. And I appreciate the opportunity I was given. John Cena comes out and does his little smoke and mirrors, and he makes himself out to be this great, gigantic, beautiful person. But a hero doesn't go out and try to exploit someone who has cancer and say, the reason why I'm so great is because I'm here for that kid who has cancer. I'm here for that kid, or whatever. We know that he does fantastic work with Make-A-Wish, and that's wonderful. That really is. I think it's great. But John Cena character shouldn't point out to someone in the crowd while he's cutting a promo to build himself up to be this fantastic hero and say, I'm fantastic because I'm supporting that person who has cancer. And my persona, my character inspires that person to be powerful and stuff like that. Guess what, man? That person's going to survive whether or not they have your support or not, because that person has parents, and that person might have a better support network than you. You aren't paying their bills. You aren't going to be there for their surgeries. You aren't going to be there for their chemotherapy. John Cena, you suck as a character. I don't like you. And I don't like Kevin Owens looking like a chump, because Kevin Owens is a better wrestler and a better man than you'll ever be. Period. We're talking about in the ring. I don't know how you are outside the ring. What did you think of the segment?
I thought it was really silly because, I mean, you've already built up Owens yesterday by beating him, and the speech after the pay-per-view that Owens gave, and then you just pretty much have Cena, because his little ego trip because he fucking lost on the pay-per-view. He's pretty much acting like a bully, and he's trying to acting like a bully. He's trying to say, oh, I'm not a bully, so I'm gonna deflect what I'm doing that's bad and say, oh, I'm doing it for the fans. But he's just a bully, pretty much. John Cena is. And he's could be like a great guy, never give up, but no, he's pretty much just a bully, just out for himself, and he just does his little never his never give up thing, just to get people just to rally around him, but he's just all for himself pretty much. He's not a very good worker, doesn't sell for other wrestlers. And he just does his usual bag of tricks, and that's it. And he doesn't compare to a Hogan. He doesn't even compare to a Macho Man. He doesn't even compare even to Ultimate Warrior. Getting the crowd involved and actually making you believe, like I want to be that guy. He just doesn't come off that way to me. Nope, it's just a bunch of crap. Well, that's all I have to say about it. So I guess we could go ahead and move on now.
The next segment is Xavier Woods comes out from New Day, and they talk smack about Tim Duncan. They were in San Antonio, so obviously they're going to talk about the Spurs. They set up a match between Lana, who was accompanied, Ziggler was accompanied by Lana versus Kofi Kingston. Then Ziggler wins with a roll-up, and the match was just okay. It wasn't anything special. Lana being paired with Ziggler was amusing, but I'd rather have her with Rusev and still be a heel, but the Rusev character's been done. That segment was uneventful. It really wasn't exciting. The New Day beat the crap out of Ziggler at the end. Primetime players make the save. They're moving up from Cesaro and Tyson Kidd. I believe Tyson got hurt in the dark match before Raw. I'm not sure. I can't confirm. I guess me and my brother will come up with a report later on. We can go ahead and do a little video if, in fact, he is injured. So the Primetime players come out, and for some reason they make a six-man tag team match. Afterwards, with Primetime players, Ziggler versus New Day. Titus ends up getting the pin, and that's it. Nothing really too exciting in this match. I mean, what do you think of the whole six-man tag team? Just slap it together to fill time. What do you think?
Yeah, I pretty much agree with what you said. Just a filler match. Because they can't think of anything else to do, and I think it's just not gonna go nowhere. It's just gonna be another. If this eventually goes pay-per-view, it's gonna be another opening match. Just to, and it's gonna be like the usual matches that happen for tag teams at least. Just gonna throw a couple of cool moves here and there. It's gonna be a short match. And it's gonna be a disappointing ending. So that's what it is. Just filler. So I guess we can move on now.
The next match we have, because in case you guys haven't known, this is Monday Night Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns versus Mark Henry. The match sucked. It wasn't exciting. Not because Mark Henry isn't a good worker. Mark Henry's a very good worker. He's older. He's not. This part where I understand that. Roman Reigns ends up winning the count out, and he gets a post match beatdown by Henry, and Henry lays him out with the world's strongest slam and the splash. After the commercial break, there's a backstage segment with Roman Reigns, coming back. He's hurt. His little eye got hurt in the match. Mr. Samoan Badass or whatever. Triple H and Stephanie say, hey, guess what, dude? Keep your vest on. You have another match against Bray Wyatt. And you're thinking, really, again, you kind of, people who don't like Roman Reigns are like, oh no. People who love Roman Reigns, hey, fantastic, you get to see him again. For the third time in the show. No, actually, fourth time in the show. Fantastic. You get your overload of Roman Reigns all in one night. Divas match between Paige and Nikki happens next. Nikki wins with Trin Magic 3, comes in there with her considerably different looking body to roll up Paige for the victory. The Bellas, who are now faces, turn heel right away or pretend to be heel so they can get the win. I thought that was weird. What do you think of Trin Magic now before we move on to the next segment? We're almost done.
Okay. For Twin Magic, I think it's just something cheap to do, because that's what the New Day does. So I'm like, oh, I'll just do it with them. So that's what I thought. Nothing too exciting. If they make a Nikki a heel, it's just like it wouldn't cause a dent. Actually, it wouldn't make much of a difference. I guess we could just move on now.
Orton and Sheamus is the next match. Orton wins by DQ when Sheamus attacks him outside the ring near the ring announcer's table with a very weak chair shot, like his hand or his rib cage, and then he proceeds to lay out Orton. And I don't know why they're trying to make Orton look weak, because Orton's supposed to be the apex predator. He's supposed to be this monster face. I mean, he's supposed to be awesome, and they make him look like nothing compared to Sheamus, who's already had his push. But again, I guess it's Sheamus time too, so they're gonna make Orton look crappy. I wish Sheamus would have beat up on Orton instead of Daniel Bryan. Maybe Daniel Bryan wasn't that got re-injured. Again, it doesn't matter. What do you think of Orton? Sheamus for his monster heel persona.
Oh, they're just doing it right now just to give him more exposure for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's the only reason why.
No, good point. The next segment, we have Rusev in the back being interviewed by Byron Saxton. They ask him how do you feel, and Rusev is looking totally miserable, like beyond miserable. Says, I have nothing, I'm a broken man. But later on, I'll get back what was taken from me. But he looks so miserable. He looks so terrible. And it's like, this is what happens when you work with John Cena. You end up losing a lot, period. What do you think of the total destruction of this Rusev character?
I think it's ridiculous because they ran its course with Cena, and they can't think of what else to do with Rusev. So okay, just do this, and we'll figure something out later. He'll probably come back at a different angle after he heals up. So he'll probably won't be Rusev. He'll be Rusev, but he'll be like Rusev something else now. So and I guess we can move on from that.
The next match was Bo versus Neville in a very short match, and guess what? Neville wins with the red arrow. It was almost the same match as the pay-per-view. Nothing special to see here. I love Neville. He's awesome, but the short matches are really just not as exciting as they should be because they don't have the development as normal match would. And finally, the main event, because again, we haven't seen him already in the show. We have Roman Reigns, the Samoan Badass, the invincible Samoan guy who is the Rock's cousin by marriage, not by blood. He comes out and he defeats Bray Wyatt due to outside distraction, briefly and momentarily, because Kane is on the top rope and Bray gets pushed into Kane, who immensely stunned them. Roman Reigns had his match with Invincible, never seen before spear, and defeats Bray Wyatt, thus ensuring his position in Money in the Bank ladder match for an opportunity to become WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Because guess what? He's never ever had the opportunity to become WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Never, ever. It's terrible. Anyway, the post-match beatdown is by the Authority, and if you can talk about Roman Reigns, Ambrose music hits, and he comes out and they all attack the Authority with Seth Rollins at ringside. The crowd was insane when Ambrose comes out. The crowd was chanting for Ambrose when Roman Reigns was in the ring. So that goes to tell you that the fans love Roman Reigns a lot less than they love Dean Ambrose. They love them some Dean Ambrose, and I do too. Dean Ambrose is fucking awesome. Sorry to cuss. I was trying not to cuss. I apologize. What do you think of the crowd reaction for Dean Ambrose, and what do you think of the Roman Reigns shoving down the throats?
I think they have to really stop, because they want to have Roman Reigns be a dumb jock that everyone else could relate to. Every man, they're trying to push him that way, and they have Ambrose be the crazy guy, and they don't realize that. I guess they're ignorant, or they're blind, or dumb. The pop that he got when he supposedly won the title at the pay-per-view, and the pop he got when he came out, at the end of Raw, they have to realize they have to go with Ambrose. But no, they're not. They're gonna still tease us, throw Reigns at us, and occasional Ambrose. But they have to stop, because they're gonna lose momentum with Ambrose if they don't pick up now. If they keep on pushing Reigns, and Ambrose is just gonna be gone. It's gonna be done. They have to go with the momentum, because momentum's there right now, and the fans were chanting Ambrose's name, just like you stated. They have to go with it, or else it's gonna be gone. That's all I have to say about that.
I'm there with you. We agree on that. We don't agree on anything, but we agree on that. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching this. I give this Raw 1.5 stars out of 5, only because there was too much Roman Reigns. And the reason why I give 1.5 is because Kevin Owens tried to hold his own against John Cena, but was ultimately crushed a little bit in that promo segment. And the fact that Ambrose made an appearance in the end, thankfully, because if Ambrose did not appear at all on the show, it would have been terrible, 100%. So it gets 1.5 stars for Kevin Owens and for Dean Ambrose. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Please hit like, comment, subscribe, and we'll be back with more videos soon. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great one.
Bye-bye.